Hello everybody, and welcome to an episode of KSP, and don't leave yet, stay tuned, because we are in version 0.23 of KSP, and we're launching here with John Bo Kerman as our pilot, but he is not the only one aboard this spacecraft, because 0.23 brings some new features, and one of those is the processing lab. Inside the processing lab we have Luddo Kerman and Ludman Kerman. I like to call them the Lud brothers, since they both have the Lud name starter, and so I'm pretty sure that the processing lab is a replacement for the spamming of science, because in the previous update you could just spam science all you want with continuous transmits. They would just become slightly less valuable, but now with the processing lab you can make your science more valuable, yet you'll only be able to send it once, or so I think. I haven't experimented too much with it, but as you can see we are going on an interplanetary travel. We are using the moon, however, as a slingshot, so that we won't have to use as much fuel on getting out, and, if you come across it, you might as well use it just cause, heck, less fuel, it's pretty cool just to pass by the moon, so why not do it? And unfortunately, we did get a collision with the moon, so we do have to, mess around with that a bit. So we do cut it really close here. We're like, oh no, are we gonna hit the moon? No, we don't. We are able to get past the moon safely and use its force to throw us up into the depths of space and such. Yeah. So that's that. This is the this happens in every video. If you haven't heard about it, it's called the commentary curve, where you start going down slope, and I forget what to talk about. So again, very long burns because I'm using nuclear engines, and frankly, I love them, but they just take forever to get to places. And you see, I actually have a spare tank of fuel here. I just didn't directly hook it up with other, fuel wires or whatever you call them, so I have to manually transfer the fuel. I mean, that's completely fine. It just makes it a bit of a weird process to deal with, because all the engines have different amount of fuel. I mean, I'm thinking, oh, hopefully that's fine, but, I'm sure it's good enough. I could have done it, but it adds on a tiny bit more mass, and for some reason that set off my OCD. I don't know. But anyways, we do get our encounter with Dress here. I'm not sure if I should be pronouncing it Dress or Drez. I more commonly call it Drez, actually, because Dress would be spelt with two S's. So here we are with our encounter. My throat is a bit weird right now. But, yeah, and I'm actually having trouble seeing it. I know when I was originally doing this, I'm, looking at it, and I can't quite see it. I mean, the description says that it's a dwarf planet, and I didn't actually know that. Drez was a planet that I forgot about for actually quite a while. I would see it on the map, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know Moho, I know Eve, I know Jewel, I know all the planets. What's that extra planet that I keep forgetting? And I would never remember the texture of it. I would look at it, and I'm not sure, I do play Minecraft, and I would relate the texture of the planet to Soul Sand, which is a Minecraft block, and I don't know why. Something about me made me think that, even though it doesn't really look that way. It actually looks kind of like an ice cream scoop. And look at this, looking down on the massive canyon of the surface, you see a canyon that could be several kilometers deep, and I want this, okay? So I try to land, and then it's just fail, fail, oh, fail, and yeah, I do eventually land, thanks to quick saving. But yeah, unfortunately we weren't able to land in that canyon that was said to be several kilometers deep, and I know that we're gonna fail here. I know that this spaceship's gonna fall over, so I just get out. I'm like, John Bo on the run, we're not gonna survive that thing. And surprisingly, it stays up. In this situation, it would usually fall down, but apparently it stayed up. Maybe some weird physics happened when I got out of the spaceship. That actually happens quite a lot. And because I don't have many science materials on this ship, I have to do some gravity tests just by jumping in the air. And it seems as if the gravity is actually pretty low, because I go up pretty far there. I know if you jump on Minmus, you'll go flying. Especially Gilly. I haven't jumped on Gilly before, just because I haven't had time, and yeah. That is our flag. I made that custom. I find it funny. This is what I mean. Drez kind of reminds me of an ice cream scoop. It's kind of weird. But yeah, so, Luddo and Ludman Kerman are in the lower area, and what we're doing is we're going to leave this bottom stage here. So when we take off, oh, you're right, but before that, as you can see right here, this is the processing lab. We can process it and get more data out of our stuff. So finally, we are transferring the fuel, and we shall release that final stage, and once we are done with that, we shall get the Ludd brothers into our capsule and take them home safely. And then I'm trying to get them out of the capsule. I'm like, wait a minute, how come you can't get out of the processing lab? What's happening here? Like, I'm literally trying as hard as I can. I'm trying everything. I can't get them out because there's no IVA. Their faces aren't in the corner, and I can't get them out of the spacecraft. Like, look, they're there, but I can't do anything. So I do some research, and apparently other people are having this issue, and they can't get the Kerbals out as of this update. So, I'm sorry, guys, but, I ultimately thought, you know what, the Ludd brothers are unfortunately gonna have to stay in the capsule until, an update comes that allows them to get out. So anyways, I guess we do take off without them. I'm sorry! Apparently, like, the hatch closed on them, so they can't get it open again. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, glitches are gonna glitch, and, you know, John Boat just wants to get home. So, you know what? We'll return someday. Don't worry. Maybe. Just kidding, we won't return. We might return. No promises on that. But yeah, so we are heading out here. And so you can see we're just doing our burn to get away from Jez. Because after doing all of our science and such, we are going home. It's that long return home trip and whatnot. Like, getting there is only half the journey, right? Like, getting back is the other half. You see, I don't know when being there is ever part of the journey. It's only getting there and getting back. So yeah, here he is, John Bow, just alone in his capsule. I'm sorry, John Bow, you know, the Ludd brothers couldn't come because they got stuck in a capsule. And I'll tell you what, we did cut the fuel pretty close on this, just like the Jewel mission, but we ultimately were able to get back, and with a bit spare of fuel. And because of the spare fuel, I could actually waste a bit of fuel on doing some special landing procedures. And I thought, you know what, I really want to land on the South Pole. I tried in my last episode, and it didn't happen, so I'm like, you know what, this episode I'm destined to land on the South Pole. I mean, why not the North Pole? I don't know, the South Pole is just kind of easier to access or something. Yeah, that's just about it. This is, the silent part where we come in and await re-entry, and then we ask the question, will they survive? Yeah. Sure, they'll survive. They're coming at 3,000 meters per second. That is pretty dang fast. We're beginning to see some heating on the debris, and heating on the final capsule. Make sure it doesn't get too hot in there. Make sure you keep the ACs on. Or the, air conditioners. Yeah, ACs. Alright, yeah. All will be fine with him. Don't worry about it. So yeah, we do end up coming down. You know, this is just the very slow landing process. Just, I'll give you some advice. Stare at the capsule. It'll be over in no time, okay? Look, cue transition. You see, look, we're already landing. You see? Look at the magic of transitions. And actually, oh my goodness, we're coming down pretty fast here. With the new 0.23 update, you were able to set what altitude the parachutes deploy at, so I actually set it pretty low, which probably wasn't the best idea, actually. But I ended up doing it anyways, so, you know, here we come in. We're coming in pretty fast, but I hope that's okay. Boom! They're fine. They lived, and by they I mean the one guy, John Bow. John Bow Kerman, you lived a missing to Dres and whatnot. So now we can just do is walk forward. I don't know, that's a pretty nice set you have there. So yeah, that's about the end of the episode. It's a bit shorter than normal episodes, I think. I've done the calculations and whatnot. But hopefully that's fine. Just a quick mission to Dres and back. You know, unfortunately, Ludman, you know, until the update gets fixed and we can actually get them out of the processing lab, they will stay in the processing lab. So maybe we'll send a rescue mission someday. But, you know, until then, John Bow's gonna stand here and be very heroic. Yeah, so that's the end of the video. Now that's the end. Honestly. Where's this stop button? How do I stop this recording? One second. I will find the stop button. Hey, have you seen where I left my stop button? I swear, it was like right here a second ago. No, to stop my recording. You know how to stop the recording. Yeah. Oh, okay, 1 second. 1 second. I found a stop button. Okay, seriously, this is the end of the recording. Scat away, okay? Okay, bye. Well, would you look at that science?